Hello beautiful people, thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the video for the next 6 months, so taking a look at through the end of 2022, and this reading is going to be specific to the zodiac sign of Pisces. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, but I'll also provide you the meaning of the tarot cards. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post videos in the future. I do typically post a couple Pisces videos a month. Also, I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising, just because we're looking at 6 months here. That's a lot of time, and you'll probably want as much information as possible, so those sun, moon, and rising videos will be really helpful. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close. This is likely going to be the last 6 months, so kind of a reflection of the first half of the year. In column number 2, we're going to do a general look at the remainder of 2022. We're going to do a money column, a love column, and in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a letting go note, an angel wishes note, a crystal for the next 6 months, and a healing note, as we always end on. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop in and get started. So again, in this first column, what's wrapping up and coming to a close, we have the card repetition. So this is kind of a summary of these last 6 months. Things kind of felt a little monotonous, a little doing the same thing over and over and over again. Some of you could be feeling a little tired from this repetition as well. The other side of it, though, is repetition is how we get really good at things through that kind of practice energy. So there are benefits to repetition as well. But let's see what other messages I can provide you here and see what we've got going on. The first card that we have is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card of withdrawing, retreating, moving on. So if you look here, these Eight of Cups are stacked pretty nicely, but yet the person in the background is still moving away from them. So this is really that energy of going from good to better. So things moving forward for you. We are in that kind of transition, moving on state the last 6 months. The next card that we have is the Ten of Swords. If you look at this card here, it's kind of dark at the top. The person's laying down flat and they have all these swords stuck into them. It's kind of a low feeling. Again, some of you are really burnt out of this repetition, going through the motions day to day. But again, this is what's wrapping up and coming to a close, which is nice. So some of you are still feeling that Ten of Swords energy. It's something we get to let go of and move forward from in the next 6 months. Then at the bottom here, we have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is a card of theft, betrayal, dishonesty, running away. So I do think at some point in the last 6 months, you did experience some sort of theft, betrayal, dishonesty, which is really unfortunate. This could have been love interest, family member, friend, coworker. But let's clarify and see what other messages I can give you, Pisces. The first clarifying card we have is the Seven of Swords. So this is again echoing that message I just talked about. So there was some sort of theft, betrayal, dishonesty, and likely that's what's prompting that Eight of Cups, that transition, that moving on to something better energy. The next card we have is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of protecting yourself, having to defend yourself against competition, very much so self-defense. You are this person standing on top of the hill with your one wand, and then there are 6 other wands at the bottom of the card of people trying to kind of hit or defend you. That's not a very good feeling. So between this kind of betrayal, dishonesty, and feeling like you have to defend yourself against this person, it makes sense why we're seeing the Ten of Wands card, or that burnt out energy. Then at the bottom we have the Hermit card. The Hermit card is about going within for clarity. It's being on a quest for personal truth, that spiritual illumination. There's a light inside the lantern, and this is the light that's inside of you, Pisces. So that's an ability to move forward, learn from this, and know how to better serve yourself in the future. This was a learning experience, although it seems to be really hurtful, but we're also kind of burnt out from this repetition. So this is a good card to see because this is reflecting on what has happened and what you want. So it's really setting yourself up well to move forward in the next 6 months. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is, again, kind of general, what's going to happen in the next 6 months through the remainder of 2022. We have the card Preservation. I like the Preservation card. This is a good reminder to preserve your time, your energy, your peace, your words, your finances. Preservation is all around a good thing. It's good self-care. But let's see what messages we have for you and see what we got going on. The first card we have is the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of low feelings. This is loss, grief, regret. Unfortunately, some of you could be losing somebody in the next few months, so this is kind of the grief around that loss. For some of you, though, this is still grieving this relationship, this theft, betrayal, dishonesty that happened in the first half of the year. We're going to clarify this card and see. The next card that we have is the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups, when I see this, especially kind of when we're looking long-term, like 6-month type readings, this is going to indicate very busy next 6 months for you. So do expect to be pretty busy going forward, Pisces. This is also a card of having lots and lots of options. If you look at this card, there is something different in all 7 of these cups. So you do have lots of paths, lots of opportunities, lots of options available to you in the next 6 months. And then at the bottom we have the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card of the Major Arcana. It's really great anywhere we have it in our reading. It's fresh hope, it's taking chances, it's going on a new path, adventure, beginning. Again, I like seeing it anywhere in the reading. So you do have lots of different paths, lots of different opportunities, and this is pursuing and taking, kind of running with one of those new beginnings, one of those new opportunities. The first card that we have is the the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is not relating to the Five of Cups, so I'm just going to read this to you as I see it. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of luxury, self-sufficiency, financial gain. Some of you could be getting inheritance if you are losing somebody with that Five of Cups. But these are not necessarily attached. Oftentimes these cards are connected. In this case, these aren't feeling connected. That Nine of Pentacles, again, meaning luxury, financial gain. So definitely a good financial situation for you going into the next 6 months. Like to see those money cards. The next card that we have is the Ace of Pentacles. Anytime we have an Ace card, it is a card of newness. In the case of Ace of Pentacles, this is new job, raise, promotion, investment, some sort of new income. So back-to-back new money cards, looking really, really good on the money front, Pisces. But this is, again, you'll be pursuing, taking the opportunity, going down the path of one of these 7 options. Again, you have lots and lots of options coming through with that Seven of Pentacles. And you are going to be busy with this new income. At the bottom here, we have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is a card of clarity and making a final decision. With the Seven of Cups, it can be a card of being non-committal, and it's hard when you have all these options to decide which one to commit to. So the Judgment card is indicating that you'll have to make some sort of decision on which new path you're going to go down there. Now taking a look at our next column, we're going to talk about anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have. We already have quite a bit of money messages here for you, Pisces, but let's see what other money messages we can provide. The first card we have in this column here is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, again, anytime we have an ace card, is a card of newness. The Ace of Swords is new idea, new mental clarity. This is really some sort of new opportunity too. So I am feeling like there will be a new job or new job role for you. But this could be some other opportunity as it relates to money. It may not be confined just to a job or a job role. The next card that we have is the Hermit. We talked about the Hermit a little bit earlier in this reading. The Hermit's about going within for clarity, being on that quest for personal truth and spiritual illumination. Again, this light in the lantern is the light within you. And you do need to make sure that whatever you're doing as it relates to money and career is fulfilling for you, Pisces. And it may or may not be right now. So do you have the right job? Are you doing something that makes you happy? Or are we just earning a paycheck? Those are the kind of questions you need to have and ask yourself. It's always important to do that check and adjust too. What was serving us 6 months ago may no longer be serving us. So keep that in mind. Then at the bottom here, we have the Tower card. The Tower card is a card of unwanted change. And what I mean by this, people see this card and they get kind of nervous. But this is like you had ABC planned and DEF happens. The nice thing about the Tower card is this change does always take us to the place that we need to be. So although it wasn't the change we were hoping for, things didn't play out exactly the way we wanted, Pisces, it still does put us on the right path. Let's see what other messages we have here. The first card that we have is the World card. The World card indicates completing a goal, completing a lesson, it's completion in general. This is the World going full circle on the World card. For many of you, it is completing that job and moving on to a new job, or it's completing that phase. Remember, we were talking about the Hermit card. What made you feel good 6 months ago may no longer make you feel good. So do keep that in mind. And I do see a new job for many of you, especially with that Ace of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles we have here, that new opportunity. So this is the closing of a chapter, so you can enter into a new chapter, Pisces. Another thing with the World card, this does indicate travel. So some of you very well could be traveling for work. The next card we have is the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is a very patient card, but it is also new job, raise, and money news. So definitely some new job, some sort of new income, some sort of new opportunity for you. That's very much so a repeat message there, Pisces. Then at the bottom here, we have the Tower card on top of the Tower card. I always like when this happens, maybe not necessarily with the Tower card, but it's the universe saying, I said what I meant. This is a very clear message. So again, there is going to be some sort of change that maybe wasn't the change that you wanted, Pisces, but it's going to be the change that you needed. It's the change that's taking you to the correct place nonetheless. Now moving into our next column, we're going to talk about anything related to love. So think family, friends, relationships, children, again, anything that you associate with love here. So the first card that we have is the Moon card. Oftentimes with the Moon card, this is a card of not having the full picture, not seeing everything that's going on. So do be aware of that. The Moon card also with the face and the sun here is very much so about trusting your intuition. So if things aren't feeling right in the relationship, do make sure that you're trusting your gut, trusting your intuition here. I'm not saying that anything's wrong, but you have a gut instinct for a reason. So do make sure you're listening to it there, and do make sure you're getting the full picture. Again, there seems to be some missing bits and pieces here and there. The next card we have is the Emperor card. The Emperor card is a good long-term card. This is very strategic, very long-term. This is also a great parenting card. So if you're hoping for pregnancy or fertility in the next 6 months, this is a very good indicator for you. But oftentimes when I see this is a long-lasting, healthy relationship. So if you're single entering into a new relationship, this is a good relationship for you. If you're in an existing relationship, this is a good card for you as well. Then at the bottom here, we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords can be kind of a gossipy card. This is also a card of seeking truth. So again, there is some sort of information that's missing and that truth is needed. And you will get that truth, but for whatever reason, the message that I'm getting here right now, Pisces, is you just don't have the full picture of something. But let's see what other messages we can provide you with. The Hierophant is our first clarifying card. The Hierophant is a very traditional card. It's very conventional. It's a card of expectations and conformity. I'm going to give you the message that I'm getting here, especially as it relates to conformity. Instead of just going with the flow, if you have a question, or again, if something doesn't feel right, it's like see something, say something. And I know that sounds so silly, but that seems to be the message, is like, if you don't have what you need, ask more questions. Or if there's something that's bothering you, you need to come forward and say, don't just conform and continue to roll with it. This is a really healthy, strong relationship, but there's some sort of truth or some sort of conversation that needs to be had here, Pisces. The next card that we have is the Ace of Wands. Anytime we have an ace card, it is a card of newness. That Ace of Wands typically indicates a new project, new inspiration, new urge to create. Again, this could be new relationship. This could be family, as in fertility and pregnancy, but definitely something new. Possibly there is like your relationship almost being rekindled by having this conversation and getting this clarity as well. That new inspiration to take things to the next step. Then at the bottom we have the Sun card. In terms of tarot cards, it really doesn't get much better than the Sun card. The Sun card is a card of material happiness, joyous outcomes, success. It is one of the most positive cards in the entire deck. So again, I do see there being happy, healthy relationships. This is a really wonderful card. So whether you're entering into a new relationship in the next 6 months or you're in an existing relationship, have the conversation, and I do anticipate them to be very happy and successful for you. Now moving into our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides, which is something to guide us through the next 6 months. We have the card Motion. Motion's a really neat card. It means things are moving. I don't know that things were necessarily stagnant the last 6 months, but we were kind of stuck in that repetition, and some hard feelings and some hard things did happen. But motion is like indicating moving forward and things continuing to move. And that's beyond just being busy. I know we talked about you being busy the next 6 months. But let's see what we've got going on here. The first card that we have is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of patience, delayed success, waiting. If you look at this person, they planted their pentacles and now they're having to wait. Again, we weren't necessarily stagnant before, but things weren't moving in the way you were necessarily hoping them to. So again, this was just saying things weren't necessarily moving. We kind of talked about that before we even pulled the card there. The next card we have is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is very active. It's new project, new creative idea. So we're moving forward to new things, which it doesn't get much better than that. This is again that new opportunity, that new project, this new undertaking. Then at the bottom we have the Page of Pentacles. We're going to echo that new money message because I don't think I've told you enough. We're going to tell you one last time here, Pisces. This is patience, which again, we know we've been waiting, and now we're at the point where we have some motion in this fifth column. But this is new job, raise, money news. So definitely some new money with these opportunities. The patience, the waiting has paid off because it's taken us forward. The first clarifying card we have is the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and that's on top of our Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Cups is again acknowledging that there are lots of different options out there for you. We talked about that earlier too, specifically with that Ace of Pentacles, how many different paths you could go down. So now that you've waited, now that you've worked hard, now that you've been patient, there's all these options on how to move forward. And just know that whatever choice you make, whatever path you take will be the right one for you, Pisces. But that Seven of Cups, again, echoing those options that you have. Be ready to commit with that Seven of Cups card, because sometimes that means we are not ready to commit. The next card we have is the King of Cups. This is a very supportive card. It's very tolerant, very empathetic. I feel like there's new flexibility with this income or opportunity that you haven't had before. It's much more tolerant. It's much more giving. It's much more fluid. It's much more flexible. Then at the bottom here we have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card of speed, action, quick change, news arriving. And this is quite literally news of new money. This is this action, this change of this new job, this new opportunity, this new money. Now at this point in time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, Pisces, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the Ace of Spades. This is number 37 card. That's going to be a no. Question number 2 is the 3 of Hearts. This is number 1 card. That's going to be a yes. And for question number 3, we have the King of Diamonds. This is number 15 card. That's going to be a yes as well. So no, yes, yes for you. I debated if I was going to do this or not, but I did decide to do so. So we're going to pull a card from our Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you for the next 6 months. Your crystal is Peridot, which is good for tolerance. It allows you to make mistakes. It helps you gain and maintain your self-worth, keeps you open-minded, and keeps you very authentic. I don't typically pull one of these cards, but I did want to pull a card from the Let Go deck. Again, these last 6 months are over. We're moving into the second half of the year, so it's time to let go and move forward. Your Let Go message says, make real progress by pushing aside perfection and never looking back. We're also going to pull a card from our Angel Wishes deck. This is going to be a message from a loved one who has passed away, Pisces. Your message says, your loved ones are guiding you from above. And last but not least, as I always end my readings, we're going to end our reading with a healing note. Your healing note says, you are filled with healing love. Thank you so much, Pisces, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post those additional Pisces videos, which I do a few a month. If you feel inclined to make a donation, I did include my Venmo in the comments box. And thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful next few months, Pisces.